And he came in. He's got his rack-mounted gear, his strobe tuners with all these different lights on it and everything. He tunes up, listens to the track, starts playing with it, and it's out of tune with the track. And he talks to our producer, Billy Smiley, says, What tuning did they use? And Billy laughs and looks at him and said, this is One Bad Pig. They don't use tuners.
That is the theme song. This is the show. My name is Matthew Porter. Thank you for joining us today. We have a great show for you. It's not this one. It's one.
No.
We're planning it for 2 weeks. Be sure to come back. But anyhow, let me introduce you to this gentleman. The old jokes are the best jokes, really.
It's so good to watch Matthew show prep and then spring it on people. Like, what are you doing? What is the deal? Hi, I am not Matthew Porter. My name is Jeremy Tiberius Birdsall. That's actually not my middle name, but that's okay. I'm going to tell that joke until people start going, hey, is that a reference to the... Yes, it is. Okay.
All things Odyssey today.
That's right.
That's it.
So, hi.
Yes.
I am part of this show, and I enjoy being on the show. And we have a very special guest
Very special
today.
guest. This is super exciting. Take it away.
This is a multi-talented, multi-renaissanceian friend of mine. This guy can sing. He plays a bunch of instruments. He can act. He can ride a unicycle, juggle, and do magic tricks.
Wow.
I don't know that he's going to do all of that in this lifetime or on this show even, but I know it happens. This is someone I am very blessed to call my collaborator and my friend, Mr. Paul Ciupek.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, Renaissance Man. I think we're exiting the realm of Renaissance Man. Not blowing sunshine up your skirt, Paul.
Renaissance woman? Then?
No, I think we're entering the realm of the polymath. This is not just...
Do tell me, unpack that. Okay. What is the difference between a Renaissance
I don't know.
and
Anything to do with math. I
come
don't
out.
think...
As it has been explained to me, Renaissance is a diverse, disparate interests. You know, I like this, I like this, I like this.
Leonardo da Vinci is the Renaissance man.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So,
but a polymath has some mastery, not just interest, but like some real competency in unconnected.
You mean he's good at things?
That means he's good at stuff. But you have to say polymath just to kind of set the tone for the room to go, what is that?
I get it. It's like, I don't know what that means. It's like, exactly. This guy's so up here, you don't even know what the word means.
You just gotta come in hard in the conversation, just like, this is it.
Wow. Well, I think that's a pretty good description. So,
I think I've come to the wrong place. Are you guys going to be using big words all day? Is that
that's it for the show?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, we get them out the way early.
From here on, it's
may need to dumb it down.
The rest of it's pro-illiteracy.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, just armpit, sounds.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're in my wheelhouse. Nice.
So,
cool.
Our audience will know you probably primarily through a little band called One Bad Pig.
Yes.
And you have done, as we have hinted at, a lot more than that. But I would love to just put some pig questions to you as our foundational level, and then we'll build up from there.
No problem.
So it's an idea for a little segment called Is Wikipedia Right?
Ooh.
Oh, no.
I can't wait.
Just
wow.
To put it to the test,
right.
Let's just start with the basics. The origin of the name. Origin story.
Yes.
So let me, I'll toss out, this is what Wikipedia says, correct as needed.
Okay.
While driving from Austin to the Cornerstone Festival in 1985, Carrie, Womack, am I pronouncing?
Yes.
All right. And Paul, this guy, stopped at a Pizza Hut in St. Louis. Local radio station KSHE was running a promotion with Pizza Hut selling sunglasses with the Pizza Hut logo on one lens and the new K-She logo on the other. As they were leaving the restaurant, Carrie looked at Paul and said, "That's One Bad Pig." Paul replied, that would be a great name for a punk band. We should form one. So they did. The next year, One Bad Pig's first album was introduced at Cornerstone. Fake news or not?
That is all true. I am impressed with Wikipedia on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, there's more details that go into it, but you cut it all down to the brass tacks. Yes.
That's it.
That's how we came up with the name. Yep.
Thank you, Pizza Hut. And
That's it. And
Keishi for
Keishi.
changing rock music as we know it.
Their logo was this pig, who looked real tough. It was in a muscle shirt and had a guitar slung over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And Carrie said, "That's One Bad Pig." I said, "That sounds like a name of a punk band, One Bad Pig." And it became the running joke then through the whole festival. We saw these great Christian bands at the time, a lot of newer bands like Altar Boys and Undercover and the Choir and the 77s and Charlie Peacock.
Oh my gosh.
Let alone, of course, Rez Band and Petra were there and Larry Norman and all that. But we couldn't get this One Bad Pig out of our minds.
That's it.
And so when we came back home to Austin, we knew that there was going to be a Christian music festival coming up, a local one, local in-town Christian festival on Labor Day. And so we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we, got some songs together and dressed weird and played real fast and called ourselves One Bad Pig and played at this little local festival. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Just as a one-time kind of thing. So that is exactly what we did.
So it was not a thing where we have this burning desire to make music. You love music, but it was kind of this will probably be a one-off kind of thing. We'll have fun.
Yeah. Well, we had other avenues in our lives. I had my own band, the Paul Ciupek Band, which was also played at the festival. And it was a Christian band that played music that was of the 80s, kind of that Tears for Fears, Howard Jones kind of vibe. And so that was my real band. That was the one I sang in. This one, my friend Carrie, who couldn't really sing great, but he could scream and yell and had tons of passion. And we thought, well, that's all you need for punk music, And so I played guitar in the Pig, and we thought it was going to be a one-off, a novelty thing. And it was a novelty.
Right.
But one thing that I've definitely learned since then is that novelties stand out. And that day we certainly stood out at that festival. And people kept asking us, when is your next gig? And one person even came up to me and said, man, that was anointed, And I was like, wow, okay, some heavy words here.
Yeah.
But can God really use something like this, about what we were doing? I mean, we loved it. We saw that maybe this could be further than maybe just a one-time thing. But we were glad that other people saw that too. So the second gig we did was like a month and a half later. Undercover came through Austin, and we got to open for them. Wow. And then we got to record our own little EP, 6-song EP, came out in 86. And it shipped to Cornerstone Festival in 86, where we played. We were invited to play there, and it was crazy.
Yeah. So, all the theatric stuff in my brain as a young person, I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. This is in no way incompatible with the gospel. But from what I've read and seen, you're like, you ruffled some feathers and other people didn't see it that same way. Was there a lot of that pushback, or was it just like, we know these King James people are just, that's what we expect.
Well, the style of the band and our presentation live, changed, evolved over the years. And when we first started out, it was very much kind of a hardcore punk type thing. And we played at a lot of clubs, just secular clubs, on the bill with other punk bands or other rock bands or metal bands or whatever that were playing that night. And so, but our message was really upfront about Jesus, about the gospel. And so that definitely stood out, and it set us apart from what the other people were doing.
Yeah. So it's, with this approach you're taking, you could see how a band would maybe have some kind of like clever lyrics and you're kind of hiding behind some sarcastic, I'm not like throwing rocks at like Steve Taylor, but there's an arch kind of ironic, jokey kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Altar Boys. You guys' lyrics remind me of the Altar Boys in the sense of it's just so earnest and unguarded, and there's clever play on words and everything, but it's not. There's no hiding behind that.
Right.
It's very sincere and upfront when you could really have gotten away with just kind of being like, if you think about it, it also means this.
Right. Well, we during
there's no way to hide it. There it goes up the nose.
If you look at the subtext,
hey, I wrote that song.
It's really
Thank you.
It's really about post-capitalist.
No, it's about cocaine.
But no, we had some creative writing approaches throughout the years, and on different songs, some of them were more allegorical than others, or had double entendres or puns. Or whatever. We loved puns. I mean, one of our
Ice Cream Sundae
albums was called Swine Flu, FLEW, you know. And I Scream Sunday.
Yes. Yep.
You know, and so we had some things like that. But on the Ice Cream Sunday album, we had a song called Never Forget the Cross.
Yes.
That's pretty darn straight ahead.
It's just so earnest.
There. Yes. Right. Very straightforward. So that was the idea, is that over time, we embraced the fact that we were different and liked to have fun. As we started writing some more songs that kind of showed that fun and zany aspect, that loony aspect of the pig. And we would dress a little wilder on stage and do the stage antics we were doing, becoming bigger and more crazy. Mm-hmm. And but also, we kept the hardcore message of the gospel. And so our philosophy was that we were 100% ministry and 100% mayhem on the stage. You know, we just went all out in both areas, you know. And so, but as I say, when we first started out, there were a lot of people that didn't know how to take us. I mean, some of the clubs would not let us play because of our message. And some of the churches and Christian coffee houses wouldn't let us play because of our music and our look. It was just a little too radical.
Get caught between them.
So our first little EP we did was, we actually titled it A Christian Band, BANNED. In other words, not allowed.
Yes. Another pun.
Yes, another pun. And so because we weren't fitting in either camp, you know. Now, eventually, Christian music kind of grew during that time. During the 80s, it was a very fertile time for alternative Christian music, and there were labels. There were people willing to put this stuff out there. Yeah. And so you could go to a Christian bookstore and buy some radical Christian music at the time, and that continued throughout the 90s, of course. So anyway, we were more than happy to kind of ride that wave. And we eventually in 90, we got signed to Myrrh Records, which is a division of Word, a big Nashville Christian music label. I mean, Amy Grant was on that label, Randy Stonehill, you know, some stalwarts of Christian music that we had listened to for years. And now all of a sudden we're on the same label as they were. That was just incredible to us.
Nice.
So we got to taste that whole thing, you know, being Dove Award nominated a few years in a row and going to those events in Nashville and hanging out with those type of people. It was a dream come true for me, because I grew up, you know, listening to Christian music. I discovered it at age 14. I was, I grew up in the church. Mom and Dad were strong Christians. Small little Baptist church in Vallejo, California. Okay, that's kind of near San Francisco, up there in Northern Cal. And so freshman year, I'm going to a Christian high school. And an upperclassman gives me a ride home, and he's got a cassette tape playing. And I said, "What is that?" He said, "That's Christian music." That's Christian music. It was a tape of the Imperials' Sail On album. That's the first album that Russ Taff was singing on. And he had a song on there called Watergrave, which was rocking, you know, and had the distorted guitars and had Russ wailing, you know, and I thought, that's Christian music? I said, is there more like that? So he told me about this Bible bookstore, and I went and visited, and I just bought every album that looked cool. Oh,
Yes.
Resurrection Band, Sweet Comfort Band, you know, oh, those that looks cool. Keith Green, wonder what that sounds like, you know, and just started getting, and so then as a teenager, I was just fully engrossed in that. I would get CCM magazine and cut the pictures out and put them on my wall and on my ceilings. You know, I had posters of Daniel Amos and second chapter of Acts, you know, and stuff like that on the walls. And so I thought, this is what I want to do. These are my people. This is cool stuff. And I began going to shows also in the Bay Area. Because a lot of the bands and artists were based in L.A. at the time.
Right.
The coming to play in San Francisco area was not a huge trip for them. They could do that.
Right.
They didn't play across the country a lot. They didn't tour a lot at the time. But I got to see, you know, Resurrection Band and Fireworks and Sweet Comfort. And Phil Keaggy came through with a band, you know.
Wow.
And Sheila Walsh, saw her on her first tour, you know. And and Servant, Daniel Amos, all these cool groups, you know. And so I just loved it and thought this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Wow. So, you know, you've been a Christian most of your life, a musician nearly all of your life here. And so Jeremy put me hip to a handful of Facebook groups where they're just kind of reminiscing about, 80s, 90s alternative and rock and everything. And you're like, oh, right, that band. So that's one genre of just reminiscing. And then there's a whole kind of other bizarro world version of it where you're like, do you remember Stryper? You're like, yeah, I remember Stryper. They're awesome. And so it's all the cool kids just kind of throwing rocks at it. And it's less about that, I think, and more about they have gone a different way spiritually, but they need to find like-minded. And there's a lot of artists and bands who, you know, yep, that's what I did, and now I'm over here, and either they disavow what they used to believe, or it's changed in a kind of different kind of way. You must have seen people who have, what's that like? And is that more of just kind of like showing them grace and like, well, listen, God's got it under control, or...
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
It's, well, you know, I feel differently about it every day.
Yeah.
And when I hear about a new thing like that, sometimes it strikes me one way and I respond in a certain way. And sometimes I've got more grace for it and have more of a reasonable outlook. That's why Facebook is dangerous. If you go on there and just spew the first comment that comes into your head, the first thought, you know, then you're going to regret it later, you know. So a lot of these things, I've come to know that with these different bands, these different artists, it's their own personal journey.
Yeah.
It can't really be compared to any other thing. I remember when Stryper was at the top of their game in the late 80s, you know, To Hell with the Devil came out, and then In God We Trust, and these were huge records for them. They were at the top.
Yeah.
And then they self-admittedly, when they look back on that time, they kind of came to a time where their heads got big, the morals kind of slid, and they thought, well, we can still live in this world and be the influencer, not the influenced.
Right.
But it kind of took a toll, the fast life, and so they came out with Against the Law,
Right.
which at the time didn't have a lot of the upfront messaging that people were used to. And they kind of abandoned some of their old philosophies about what they wanted to do. And a lot of people that were, especially in the Christian community that had followed them, thought, what happened to Stryper? What did they do? And a friend of mine, I remember specifically, called me on the phone and was talking to me about it, said, I've given up on Stryper. I'm done with them. They're not of God anymore. They're not putting him first. And they're blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? Just Give them some grace. Give them some time. Let's see how this all plays out. And sometimes you have to wait years for where you see some difference in that. And now, Stryper several years later came back together and started putting out new music and touring again, and is more upfront about the gospel and Jesus than ever before.
Yeah.
And they acknowledged that time back then when they kind of, went the other way for one reason or another. And it may have been marketing, pressures, different things, about the Hollywood scene or whatever. But for some reason, it just kind of went by the wayside for a bit. And but then later on, they came back strong, and they're still rocking, still doing their thing. So I've seen that with a lot of different artists, and you even see some that go through this thing that some people call a fall from grace or a public sin that they have to repent of, and then they're kind of the stuff they were doing gets stripped away. They get taken off of radio stations and taken out of the retail stores and kind of disavowed by the Christian community. Yeah. And you have to think, well, by the grace of God, go I, kind of thing. Yes. And what if all of my sins and everything I ever did, what if everything I ever thought was just broadcast there out for everyone to see? I'd be undone, And so, yes, you want to call sin, and yes, you want to try to live the life the best way that you can, knowing that because of the music you're putting out, because of the ministry you have, because of the platform you have, that there's a responsibility to that. But then also, you've got to show some grace to these people, because that's what the gospel's all about. It's about change. It's about healing. It's about new life. Yeah. It's about old ways being set aside and embracing something new. And so we've got to leave room for God to do his work. Just not just throw these people away totally.
Right. Yeah, God changes hearts, but he has his own timetable, and it's like, it's not your concern, dude. Just give it room.
And it's tough when as you get older, and I am older, you go through a lot of stuff, and you see a lot of stuff, and you see the trends, and you see the mountaintops and the valleys, the ups and downs. And so you have, hopefully, a little bit of perspective. Yeah. When you're young, you've got that zeal, and you just want to go conquer the world, do whatever, and a lot of times you can burn some bridges that way. Yeah. Not seeing the big picture, not living a life where you've been through it and gone, oh, okay, So anyway.
That's good. So I would be remiss and again, we're going to talk about some non-pig stuff soon. The gentleman behind me, Mr. Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
How did that collab happen?
Yeah.
Because that song was my introduction to Johnny Cash. So thank you.
Oh, wow. That's great.
As a young guy, I'm
like,
I know that name. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is a good song. And that kind of led to discovering his catalog. What in the world?
Well, when we were getting ready to do the Ice Cream Sunday album, and we were writing songs and kind of demoing up stuff, and we were dealing with our A&R guy at Myrrh, Artist and Repertoire. So that stands for, it's basically the guy that works at the label, but he also represents the band. He's the liaison between the band and the label. So our guy was Mark Maxwell, great guy. And he said to us, hey, have you heard this song by Johnny Cash called Man in Black, which Johnny had done decades earlier? It was one of his signature songs. He's the Man in Black, And we were like, well, I'm not really familiar with the song. I've heard of it, but I don't know it. So he said, well, listen to it and see if you guys can do something with it. Now, we had a history of doing, taking other people's songs and messing them up and making them pig music. We did that with Petra, a song called Judas Kiss.
That's right.
Very slow, plodding blues song, great song. And we turned it into a fast thrash tune.
With the blessing of Bob Hartman, am I
Yeah, he came in and played on it.
Yes.
Yeah. The great story about that is when he came in, we'd already laid down the track. He was going to put down his lead guitar on it. And he came in, he's got his rack-mounted gear, his strobe tuners with all these different lights on it and everything. He plugs tunes up, listens to the track, starts playing with it, and it's out of tune with the track. And he talks to our producer, Billy Smiley, says, What tuning did they use? And Billy laughs and looks at him and said, "This is One Bad Pig. They don't use tuners."
It's punk rock,
true.
man.
At the time, we didn't. It was just a guitar and a bass, and I played guitar. I tuned to myself. The bass player tuned to me. Boom, we're in tune.
Yes.
That was it.
Key of pig.
Now, later on after that, we bought actual tuning devices, But that was hilarious. And Billy loves to tell that story. He thought that was great. But anyway, so we listened down to this song, Man in Black, and thought, well, yeah, I guess we can do something with it, make it into a big rocking anthem or whatever. And then our A&R guy said, he says, I bet we could get Johnny to come in and sing on this with you. And we were like, no, that will never happen, because we knew who Johnny was and we knew who we were. And we thought, that's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. And so anyway, we began, this campaign of, at least the label did, of sending Johnny's people all this stuff about One Bad Pig, all our recordings, photos, magazine write-ups, bios, personal testimonies from the guys in the band,
nice. Whatever it
everything to show Johnny, hey, we were legit, Christian enterprise that wanted to honor him doing his song and would love to have him come in.
Yeah.
We'd be recording in Nashville, love to have him come in and sing. And we never got a response from Johnny himself. It was always his people saying, yeah, we'll check it out. We'll look at it, but nothing committal, And then finally, through several things happening in Nashville, we went ahead and recorded. We recorded the song without Johnny, with Carrie, our lead singer, singing all the way through. We thought, well, if we do get Johnny, we'll just take Carrie out here and there, add Johnny's vocal, and it'll work. But if not, at least we'll have this song done, you know. And so we did that, and it was a couple of days before we were going to be leaving Nashville to go back to Austin, and we got a phone call, at least the guys at Myrrh did, that said, hey, Johnny wants to be on these guys' album. He wants to sing on the song. Tomorrow at 2:00 at such studio on Music Row, Johnny will be there. I want you guys to be there, prepared. He's going to come in and he'll do the vocal.
Wow.
We're like, oh, and Billy Smiley, of course, our producer, was over the moon. He was like, oh, yeah. So he's scrambling to make all this happen, So we're all there anticipating Johnny showing up, and he showed up in a car, a plain, vehicle, not a limousine or anything, or a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Just a plain car, driving himself all alone. Walks in, we were like, this is the man. Of course, he's dressed all in black.
Come on.
Classic. And we came to find out he had just come from the hospital. His mother was dying in the hospital, and the family members were taking turns being by her bedside. Okay. So he had just come from that. So when we heard that, we thought, hey, Johnny, if you don't need to be here right now, if you need to be there, that's what he said. Oh, no, this is therapy for me. He says, I need to do this. We're like, okay, great. So we stood around in a circle. We held hands. We prayed. We prayed for Johnny's mom, prayed for the recording, and then we went for it. So we're all behind the glass in the control room, and we're all giddy looking at each other. I can't believe this is happening, And Johnny's in there, and he's listening down to the song, and he goes, hey, I like what you guys did to my song. And, of course, I had arranged it, and so I was like, yes, And so then we tell him kind of where to come in and where Carrie's going to come in, this and that, and he does the whole tune. and it's perfect. It's great. And in my last suggestion at the end, I said, Johnny, could you give us one of your patented, hello, I'm Johnny Cash. And, and so he did. He recorded that, and we were just like, that was it. That sounded like the real thing.
You sound just like Johnny Cash.
Yeah, you sounded like him. Oh, my gosh, that was it, And so that's how the song starts.
Yes.
Starts cold with him saying, hello, I'm Johnny Cash, and then it slams into the song, So we got a picture taken with him, which is great. And I post it on Facebook every once in a while. Just say, yep, it really happened, back in 1991, And so anyway, and the song then, at the time, they had Christian radio was very big, and they had different formats too. And they even had charts for Christian rock and Christian metal.
Wow.
And there was a time where the Man in Black was #1 on the rock and the metal chart at the same time. So it was super, super cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. Last pig question, but I'm going to put an asterisk for now. I reserve the right if something occurs to me later. I'm not going to paint myself in a corner here, but we are going to move on.
No problem.
My journalistic, I did major in journalism, mass comm in college, and never used it. But my professors would be mad if I did not go for some kind of news related thing. Any new pig news? Any new things in the works? Anything you can let us know about or to look for?
Well, we've been talking about a few things. We don't play much anymore, mainly because we're all in different spaces. A couple of the guys still live in Austin, or the Austin area. I now live in Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
And our lead singer, Kerry, he pastors a church in Tennessee. So anytime, every few years when we do get together, it's a reunion gig, a reunion show. Hey, and we did one about 3 years ago. And anyway, we've been talking about getting together to record a Christmas album. We've never done a Christmas record, and we thought it would be really cool. Our lead singer, Kerry, especially, really wants to do one.
Yeah.
And so we've been thinking about the different Christmas carols that we could cover and in original songs we could write. And so I think next year, the hope is we're going to get together, do a Kickstarter campaign. So it'll be a crowd-funded thing. And then hopefully by Christmas 2027, there'll be new pig music out there for the holidays.
Yes, happy Pigmas.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll be able to do some type of release party concert. It'll probably be in Austin,
All right.
And we get back together and jam and do some of the new songs and some of the old favorites and smash a guitar or two and dive into an ice cream sundae and all that fun stuff. You know.
Stretch first these days.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay, here we go.
Yep. That's it. So, but the pig now is, officially over 41 years old.
Wow. Well. Thank you for putting a number on it. I feel great about that.
It's an old pig.
Yeah.
It's a mighty old pig.
Doing good.
Yeah.
So, all that awesome. Of course, that's just a chapter. After that, you totally shifted to a different style altogether, and then you're doing new stuff now. Dealer's choice. Where do we want to dive in? I mean, you've got so many different projects. You've done theater. You've done. I mean,
real briefly, in the 90s, early 90s, I moved from Austin up to Nashville, and was still doing some stuff with the pig. I would fly in, and they would drive up to wherever we were playing and do the gig. But I would then go back to Nashville, and I was trying to get a solo thing going, a solo Christian music thing going. And I started to really pattern my style of what I wanted to do solo-wise after Peter Gabriel. I just loved the sound that he was putting out, the sound of his music and his voice even. And I thought, man, if that type of presentation could be done with the power of the gospel behind it, man, that could be really cool, really powerful. So I thought, that's what I want to do. And I probably went a little overboard on that because a lot of people, when they heard the record or they heard my demo around town there, they were like, it sounds too much like Peter Gabriel to me. I don't want to touch it, But I found a guy, Des Dickerson, who was the guitarist for Prince at one time. He's the black gentleman with the Japanese bandana on the little red Corvette and the 1999 videos that were on MTV. He's that guy. He got saved. He moved to Nashville, and he started a small record company at the time called Absolute Records, and I was the first artist he signed. And we put out an album in 1996 called Touch the Ground. And so anyway, and then as, one or another things happen, as does in Nashville and in the music industry, I didn't get a chance to do a second record. So that's been my only legitimate solo album that's ever come out. And that was in 96. It was 30 years ago. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, and then in 2000, I moved back to Vallejo, California, back to the church I had grown up in, and I became their worship leader and youth minister.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, small church, and I found out a couple of things about working at a church and about doing these type of ministries. The worship leader thing came great. It was like, oh, this is just like leading a band, basically. And I've been leading bands all my life, and playing with bands and stuff. And this came real easily.
Yeah.
You could almost say I had an anointing to do it. It was just, it flowed, right? But the youth ministry part, I think God gave me grace for that, but that's it. Not the anointing, just a little grace to help me make it through, because it was like, this is real work.
Yeah.
This is hard. Man, dealing with kids, and trying to get them, because I had all these cool ideas.
Yeah.
I was going to be the cool youth pastor, because I loved rock and roll, and I was going to show them all these cool things, blah, blah. And in my mind, the meetings would go great, beforehand. I thought, they're going to laugh, they're going to clap, they're going to repent, they're going to do it all in this one meeting. And I'd get there and I'd show them all this cool stuff, these cool videos, and read these cool things and and have the blank stares from them,
That's rough.
And because they didn't want to respond, because they're kind of looking at their friends. Should we think this is cool? No, we shouldn't. Should we? No. Okay. And it was weird. I was just like, what's going on?
This gig is lame.
So hey, people that are youth pastors or youth ministers or who work with young people in churches, God bless you.
Yeah.
Wow, you're doing an awesome job, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something you could just fall into. So I was hoping maybe I could do this worship leading thing full time at a church. That was the goal.
There you go. Less of this, more of this.
Got a call in 2004 from a gentleman who was pastoring a church in the Austin area. He was an old Pig fan.
Okay.
And who'd grown up to have his own church. And he said, would you like to be our full-time worship leader? I said, yes, I would. And so,
yes.
Yeah, so we moved out there back to the Austin area. Yeah. And was at a church there. I actually served at a church in Beaumont for a while. And then I went to a church in Killeen, Texas, just kind of near Waco, between Waco and Austin. And it was called Lifeway Fellowship. And I was there for 9 years. Now, they say that the average that a worship leader stays employed at a church is 2 years. That's the average. So, and I found that to be true in most of the places I had been at before then,
Can confirm.
Can confirm.
Can I get an amen? Yeah. And so, but to be at that one church 9 years was really
That's remarkable.
A blessing. And at the end, I wasn't fired or anything. It's just that my wife and I decided we wanted to move to Orlando.
And I'm glad you did.
And so that was 10 years ago, and I've been in Orlando ever since.
And that's around about the time you met this fella.
Yes, the great Jeremy Birdsall.
Hey, where's that guy?
Yeah.
I'm the mid Jeremy Birdsall.
So Jeremy and I were friends on Facebook, but I was friends with 5,000 people on Facebook, most of
This
them
is very fancy, man.
Most of them I did not know.
Yes.
Personally. They were Pig fans or Paul Ciupek fans or something. And so they had a relationship with me in that way.
Right.
And they wanted to be my friends. So I was just like, okay, accept, you know. So Jeremy was one of these guys who was my friend. Since I was in the Orlando area, the algorithm, you know, gives you some posts from the local area and some things. I noticed this guy is doing gigs, you know,
working,
and I found out he's a worship leader. He's also doing these other gigs at Disney, you know, and Universal and these different, you know, places around town. And I thought, man, I would love to get into that, you know, start doing that type of thing. Also in Orlando, there's a lot of live music. You know, you came here and you'd go to a lounge or a restaurant or, you know, a theme park or whatever, and there's live music of all kinds, bands, solo artists, guys playing guitar and singing pop and rock hits, you know, and stuff. And you start to think to yourself, I could do that. And that would be a cool way to make a living and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But how do you get started in it? How do you get in it? So, so I got a hold of this Jeremy Birdsall guy. I said, hey, I'm Paul Ciupek. He goes, that Paul Ciupek? Yeah, that one. And so my wife and I took he and his wife out to dinner and kind of picked his brain, you know. And Jeremy, I think, in discussions with his wife, had some ideas. And he really went to bat for me. He said, are you currently going to a church? I said, well, yeah, kind of, but not, you know, locked in. He said, why don't you come to my church, and if you'd like, you can sing on our worship team. It's like, oh, okay, all right. And he said, hey, I've got some friends at a video company, you know, or whatever, or a video enterprise. I'm not sure exactly how it went down. But he said, for cheap, we can get them to come in here with a 3-camera shoot, and they can shoot you doing your solo thing. We can shoot us doing a duet thing, whatever. And we'd have these reels to put out there and promote if you want to get into this thing, you know. I said, wow, that would be great. And we did that. Wow. And so, and then finally we got a little gig going. And did some gigs, and then I got some solo opportunities to go do some solo things. And so anyway, and it just built up from there. And so now that is what I do.
Yeah.
I do this thing, and there are times when Jeremy and I are able to play duet gigs. We've got 3 of them coming up later this month.
Wow.
And there's a lot of times that I'm doing solo gigs, and it's just worked out great.
That's awesome.
So Jeremy took a chance, really went to bat for me at that time, and just can't thank him enough. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you for not sucking.
He brought me in, tried to convince his pastor. No, this guy, let me bring him in.
No, really.
He's going to sing on the team. I'm like, what?
And what happened was he fired up One Bad Pig. He's like, is this the guy that's going to sing? I'm like, no, he's not singing on this recording. He's the guy playing guitar.
Yeah.
I'm like, go listen to Touch the Ground. That's the guy. And he's like, oh, thank God.
Oh, thought I was going to bring a new kind of worship to the church.
I love it.
Oh man, it's been so much fun getting to play with Paul, just because I think people are genuinely surprised when they hear you, because you know we all listen with our eyes, and they look at me, they look at you, and they kind of assume we're gonna do a certain thing. And you know, sometimes we do the thing that they expect, right? But sometimes we do, you know, some Stevie Wonder or some Prince, or you know what I mean? And and then they hear it, and then they look over and they see this gentleman.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, my goodness. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to play a variety of music with you. And I've had a lot of fun playing cello with you too, because it's really pushed me to, well, honestly, in this context, what we do most of the time these days is a duo where Paul is singing and playing acoustic guitar, and I'm singing and playing cello. And the fun thing in that role is that I'm playing bass lines to his acoustic guitar rhythm stuff. But then every once in a while, I got to fill in like the little lead guitar melody things. So it's a fun contradiction to be like bass, 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 and then don't stop believing, whittly, 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 then back to the bass line.
And it's an interesting visual too, because people, when they, go somewhere, and they see us up there and they see the cello, a lot of people are just fixated on it. They're staring at it, just going, wow, that's a cello. They're playing a cello. They expect classical music or something, but we're doing rock and roll, and so we call it the rock and roll cello.
I like it.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, I can't help but notice we have a cello and a guitar, so maybe a little shortly as a teaser, perhaps I could cajole the fellows in a moment to
It's a nice segue.
Do not turn
us.
off this podcast.
That's it.
There shall be music. Yeah.
There's another chapter I have to ask you about.
Sure.
And I don't see the breadcrumb trail to this,
Okay.
which is magic. Illusions.
Yes.
How do you just have a little Dungeons and Dragons dice and you're like, okay, which new career? Okay,
I love it.
Timeshare sales. No,
Right.
Let's do it again. Okay.
Let's do it again.
Magician.
Right. Well, this started very, very early for me. And it comes from just me enjoying all kinds of performing arts. I love a show. I love to put on a show, And
That you guys are friends does not stretch the mind a bit.
Right,
You guys
right.
are twins in that sense.
So when I
This is a guy who wears a Roman candle on his head with one bad pig.
yes, and this is the guy who wears spangled shirts in the office,
yes.
which I love.
Like what?
Hey, there you go.
So
Well,
so
when
it's not
I-
that far of a stretch.
Right. No, when I was very young, my mom and dad got me into music lessons of all kinds. At age 6, I was taking piano lessons, And I was always beating on things. So they got me one of those old Sears paper drum sets, that quickly you've punched through.
Yes.
The only thing you could save was the cowbell and this weird metal cymbal that I had for
too rock and
years.
roll.
It just, bizarre. But anyway, and then later on, I discovered, guitar and bass guitar. And my instrument in school was trumpet. And so I had kind of a well-rounded, musical thing. And I loved to sing. And so I was always involved with the church choir. And by the time I was a teenager, I was directing the church choir, which were mostly old ladies, so that was very interesting. And but I loved spectacle. And so my dad would take me to the circus. Wow. And I was born in 1963. Okay. So by the time 70 rolled around, I was 7 years old, 7 years old. My dad took me to Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Closest arena to us, to where they were coming, was in Oakland, California. And I remember we went several years in a row. Each year when they would come through town, we got to go see the circus, Ringling Brothers, And I would get the programs they were selling with all the colored pictures of all the different acts and the acrobats and clowns. And I would study those people and just try to learn as much as I could about them. This is way before the internet,
Yes.
This was back before you could go years with questions in your mind about certain things you did not know. It was the age of not knowing.
Yes, pregnant with curiosity.
Or sometimes you could call it the age of wonder. And so, it was interesting finding out little tidbits about these performers and about circus life and all that. And just through going to those different events, I would come home and I taught myself how to juggle. And then I asked my dad, I said, can you rig up some type of tight wire in the backyard? Just a normal thing you ask your dad. And so he says, yes, I can. We had a cherry tree and an apricot tree in our backyard, and he got a steel, wire, and he tightened it up around these tree trunks, and I learned how to walk it.
So in another world, you could have been in Cirque du Soleil.
I could have been. That's right.
Or a quadriplegic.
That's right. Either or. And so I begged my parents for a unicycle for my birthday, and I got one. And after 5 weeks and 500 falls, I learned how to ride it. And then I begged they had at the time in the Sears catalog, they had a thing called a Schwinn giraffe. It was a unicycle.
Oh, the one that's like...
And the seat is 6 feet high. So if you're sitting on the seat, you're 8, 9 feet. Your head is in the air.
You're all in.
Yeah. A tall unicycle.
Whew.
And so I got one of those, learned how to ride it.
Your parents are awesome, by the way.
They are. I would juggle on the unicycle and ride it in 4th of July parades there in Vallejo and surrounding areas. I'd ride it in our high school at halftime in the basketball games, and I would dunk, from on top of the unicycle, putting on a show.
Yes.
And loving that type of thing. Also, at that time, I was involved in drama, in the high school drama class, and in our local, in the Vallejo children's drama theater kind of thing. So loved acting, as I say, dressing up, putting on a show, anything about that. I also love the behind the scenes stuff. You become intrigued with how does this soundboard work and how these lights work, and they did special effects, or how'd they make that fog, and you just become intrigued with that kind of thing. And so that just kind of carried on with me throughout my life. I think I was 11 years old when my dad bought me my first little magic kit, and so had all these little tricks in it, and kind of learned how to do them, this and that. And then he took me to see some magicians. One of them was Doug Henning, I saw in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, legend.
That's going back. Yep. And so, that kind of fired my curiosity.
Yes,
and so I found a magic shop that I could go to and save up money for and buy some of these tricks. I had a couple of doves. I had a rabbit. This is as a teenager, and I would do children's parties and things like that where I would juggle and do magic tricks.
Yeah.
I just loved that kind of thing. But when I turned 19 and I decided to move from Northern Cal to Austin, Texas, and when I was starting to get into Christian music a lot more and thought that's what I want to do, I left all the magic stuff and the unicycle and all that. I left it behind, and my mom sold it in a garage sale one year.
Oh, man.
So it was all gone, and I thought, this is my new life,
That's it. Burn the ships.
And so throughout the decades, throughout the years, every once in a while I get bit with the magic bug again.
Yes.
I've always loved it, appreciated, looked for magic shows when I could to go to, and stuff like that, enjoyed it, kind of kept up with the scene, as it were, but never was trying to put a show together or do it live for people or whatever. Every few years I'd kind of catch the bug again, but then I would, say, So, but now the past year and a half or so, it has bit hard.
And you're running.
And I'm like, you know what? I want to do this. I'm still doing the music thing.
Yeah.
But I have time right now, and I'm just loving getting back into it. I just returned a week and a half ago from Las Vegas. I went to a big convention there called Magic Live. It's a 4-day-long convention in Vegas. And 1,600 magicians were there, and we're all taking these lectures and seminars and watching these shows and going into the huge, they call it the dealer room or whatever, where there's 60 different magic shop type dealers, manufacturers from around the world. And so, it's just fun stuff,
Magic has always fascinated me, not in the not in the sense of like, I'm pursuing it and learning it.
Right.
But one of my great loves is comedy, and I see so many parallels between magic and comedy because both of them are based on misdirection. I'm going to set up the joke. You think it's going to go here. I juke you and go here.
Right.
And in both cases, the audience wants to be fooled. Yep. They're if it's all going right,
they want that surprise kick.
I want the surprise.
Yep.
I don't want to know how it's done. And then there's surprise and delight. And, it's funny, people think about performing and whether it's magic or music or theater or whatever, and they'll think about the skill set. And of course, that's a requisite. But the spectacle part is, you're going Aristotle poetics here. You're like, that's an intrinsic part of it is I'm going to pay a certain amount of money for 2 hours of entertainment. Yeah. Where the sequence? Yes. Yes. Jump into the ice cream. So this is. Right. It's not a nice to have. This is entertainment, and this kind of goes hand in hand with it. And that's been understood since the Greeks. So
right,
you guys get that on a deep level. It's very cool.
Oh yeah, and as I say, I've come to appreciate all kinds of levels and presentations of art. And some magic things can be done close up and with not a lot of fanfare or in an intimate room. One of the things that's popular now is what they call parlor shows or stand-up shows where there'd be 20, 30 people there.
Okay.
And this guy is going to close up and in front of you and with a lot of, interaction, he's going to, take you on a little magical journey,
Yeah.
And so, and we did that actually this past Christmas at the Birdsall residence.
The legendary
They
Birdsall
invited
parties.
me to come to one of their Christmas parties they were putting on. Nobody that was attending knew there was going to be a magic show. And so after they did their gift exchange and everything, they came up to the loft there, and I did my magic thing, and everybody had a ball.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun.
It was not what I expected at all. It was very clever,
Yeah.
very, very well done, very funny. Hey, I'm just going to go ahead and give the Yelp review now. It's
Yelp
great.
Review. Thank you, Jeremy.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I watched, I've been traveling a lot, of course, with the Rocket Man show. So I'm getting very familiar with the entertainment offerings on the Delta Airlines back of your seat rest.
Yes.
And so I've pretty much burned through all the new movies because, I've been traveling a lot. So you know what I fired up on the way home? The Prestige.
Oh,
in order to prepare for this
Nolan.
little conversation, I was like, let me watch this. And I'm like, the idea of spectacle is exactly that. It's like, that's the whole premise of the movie. It's like, yeah, you can do a thing and make something disappear, but until you can bring it back in a spectacular fashion, people aren't applauding yet.
Yeah.
You've got to give them oh man, and it was there and now it's here. Whoa. That is the buzz people are looking for, right?
Yeah.
And for comedy, that I think of the callback.
Right.
There's so many kind of organic parallels between the thing. I don't put you on the spot. I mean, I don't know if your magical tricks require any white Bengal tigers or anything. I mean,
no. I brought a few things today I could show
Would you. Favor us
I may
with a
have
little something?
to scoot myself
Yes.
over that area.
Please
so.
adjust.
Let's do it.
Through the magic of technology,
Magic. The
we have
keyword.
transported into the future for a little tabletop magic. Paul, do you have a magic name? Are you the mysterious Q?
Actually, my magic name is Paul Q.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Just Paul and then the letter Q, big old Q.
Done. You can even go just by Q because Quincy Jones isn't using that moniker anymore.
Yes.
So.
Wow. Yeah, thank you. Just to bring us all down.
Yes.
Way to set
Pour
the
one
tone.
out for Q.
There you go.
Take it away, man.
Okay. Well, I want to talk to you two a little bit today about time. Time. The effects I'm going to do for you today have to do one way or another with time. Now, here I have a deck of cards, and I'd like for you to check out that card. All right. See? Okay. Well, bring it back. Bring it back.
Ordinary card.
And you can see this card box has slits in it. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
You go all the way through. So you're going to try to push that through the deck of cards.
Oh, yes?
Yes. I can't pick that up anymore. It's on the thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. See? That's number one
This is
trick.
why he's doing the magic.
Right there.
Okay, so put it.
Go ahead and try to put that through the thing. Now you'll find you cannot.
I cannot.
Do that.
I cannot.
Right. Well, the deck is in there. It's doing its job.
I didn't have a shot at that one.
No. So we're going to close it back up. Here we go.
Okay.
And I'm going to try with my card to see if I can put it through. Here we go. Let's see. I'm not having any success. Let me try the other way here.
Oh.
No. I think I've got it. Ooh.
What?
It doesn't want to go. It's fighting me.
That's through.
But it's coming right through the deck of cards.
Clearly.
You see that? Now I want you to try that also. I'm betting you could get it through there.
All right, we'll give
Try
it a
that
shot.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it
Okay.
going?
We're having a little success.
Whoa.
All right.
Wow.
Ladies and Germans.
Ah, that's incredible.
Well, what
now
the
I think
world?
what we should do. Okay, now let me have that card
Yes.
back. All right, you take the deck.
Okay, I take the deck.
I think what we should do is we should go back in time.
Yes.
Now, a deck of cards, what are cards primarily made of? Do you know?
Mostly paper.
Mostly paper, I would say. And if you go back in time even further than that, what's that paper made out of?
Trees.
Trees, wood, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and open that deck.
Let's see what we.
Take out what's inside.
Come on, man.
That
Come on, man.
is a solid,
Are you kidding?
impenetrable block of wood. You can let Jeremy take a look at
This
that
is-
if you want.
Okay, now that's
What?
wow. All right. Okay.
So,
all right, that's
as you
pretty
can
cool.
see,
Wow.
it was literally impossible for the card to
Yes.
pass through, but we both did it, didn't we?
We did it. Yes.
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 Uh-huh.
Wow.
How
I
about
feel
that?
magical.
I did not see that one coming. Wow, good job. You got me
That
too.
is
fun.
awesome.
All right. So on the subject of time, I have this little piece of paper right here.
Yes.
Now you know what's on this paper?
Writing.
Right.
2 for 2, Matthew.
I like to call it diction
Okay.
because diction is something that you speak.
Yes.
And so this will be diction. This will be spoken out loud
Yes.
at the end of our presentation here. But right now, we're not going to speak it out loud.
Okay.
So it's not diction. It's pre-diction.
Wow.
You see?
That's
And we're
me.
going to place it right there. I'm not going to touch it
Okay.
until the end when it's read aloud. Okay? Now, I have 3 items I'd like to show you. This one right here is a pen. It is a Bic pen that you could get at any store, a simple pen. You might think, well, this is a cheap thing, and it is to a certain extent, but think about this. What if you were a writer, a book writer, and you had an incredible story in mind, and you did it the old-fashioned way. You had the yellow legal pad, and you took out your Bic pen, and you started writing freehand. And you were in a cabin in the woods for months, and you were writing and writing every day, writing. And you wrote this incredible story. You wrote the great American novel with your Bic pen. And you sent it into the publisher. They published it. It went worldwide. Worldwide bestseller. You're a multimillionaire. Now, how much would this pen be worth? Amazing.
Yep.
Now, I also have a single playing card. It says Las Vegas on it. It happens to be the Jack of Hearts. You might say, well, it's one card, not very valuable. But think of if you were in Vegas and you were a gambling man and you were in the high roller poker room,
Yes.
and the stakes of this game you were playing got up to $1 million. And so nervously, they dealt out the cards. They dealt you 4 cards. You looked at them. They were the Ace of Hearts, the King of Hearts, the Queen of Hearts, and the 10 of Hearts. And they were going to deal you 1 more card. Now, how much would this card be worth?
Quite a bit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I have this quarter. It's worth 25 cents. Now, what we're going to do is when I count to 3,
Okay.
there are 3 objects here. I'm going to have you pick up, use both your hands,
Okay.
pick up one item in one hand and one in the other, and just leave one on the table. This is totally your free choice.
Yes.
Okay? So on the count of 3, pick up 2 items.
2 items.
1, 2, 3.
Again,
Ha.
hard to pick up.
All right, you picked up the pen and the card.
Yes.
That's interesting. Now, in a moment, I'm going to have you give me one of those items.
Okay.
You're going to pass one of those items over to me. Now, remember, this is your free choice. Yes. You ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Just hand me one item. Okay, the card. Great. Wonderful. All right, the pen is just going to go in the pocket.
Okay.
There we go. And we're left with just these 2 items. We've got a card and we've got a coin.
Yes.
Go ahead and take one for yourself. Just one.
All right.
The coin. All right. So I've got a card here. We've got the pen in the pocket. You've got the coin. Now, I'll ask you to make one more decision
Okay.
before the prediction becomes diction.
That's right.
All right. Would you like to trade with me that card for the coin? Or would you like to keep the coin that you have?
Interesting.
It's up to you.
I'll switch.
You will switch.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and take the card. I'll take the coin.
Yep.
All right. These are your final decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go ahead and open that paper, read aloud what it says.
It says, I have the card. You have the coin. The pen is in the pocket.
Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. What? Isn't that fun?
That is so cool.
All right. Coolness.
That's amazing.
Well, we'll try one more little thing. Do we have time
Love
to try
it.
one
Love
more?
It. Absolutely.
Okay. We're talking about time.
Time.
And I
Continuing
remember
with the
when
theme.
I played board games as a child, every once in a while there would be a little timer that would come in the board game,
Yep.
and it looked like a little hourglass. And you would turn it over and all the sand would start running down. You know, when it ran out, your time was up. You know, so I've always thought hourglasses were cool items, kind of neat things from my childhood. So I've got this special hourglass right there, and we're going to use that as a timer for me to see if I can guess what's in your mind.
Okay.
Okay, and the way we'll do that, we've got some index cards here.
All right.
Now, this is fun. I wrote down the names of popular movies. A lot of these are old school movies. There's nothing on the back,
Nope.
as you can see.
Yep.
Just on the front. It says Labyrinth. Have you ever seen the
Classic,
movie
of
Labyrinth?
course.
Do you like that one, Jeremy? Yes. The Karate Kid.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. E.T.
Yes.
There's Caddyshack, Raging Bull,
Classic.
a classic. We've got Star Wars, Jaws, Grease, Rocky, Men in Black, Misery.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a movie. Titanic, of course, Seven. You remember that
Yes.
one with Brad Pitt and
What's in
Morgan
the
Freeman?
box?
That's a good
Oh, no. Clueless.
Yes.
There's Scream, of course. We've got Fight Club,
All-time favorite.
Home Alone, Ghost, Glory.
Yes.
All right, so we've got several to choose from.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clip these cards just like this.
Okay.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
right-handed.
All right, stick out your left hand,
Okay.
and I'm going to have you go ahead and hold that with your left hand.
Okay.
Now keep your thumb off. Just
Okay.
kind of hold it in your hand like
it.
that. In a moment, I'm going to have you take your thumb on the edge there and just flip up, and you're going to look at one of the movies. Okay. Don't show me.
Okay.
All right. And to find your place, I want you to be even influenced by your own space or thumb. Okay. So look at me. Find a place. Go ahead. Flip it up and look real quick. See what you got. You
Okay.
see it?
Yep.
All right. Can you remember that?
Yes.
All right. Now you put them down,
Yep.
and we'll put these away. And I'm going to start the timer, and I want you to think of that movie.
Okay.
You got it in your mind?
I do.
All right. Here we go. Okay. Oof. The time is moving a little quicker than I'd hoped. All right. So you're thinking of that movie, and I'm pulling it out. I'm seeing I'm seeing a 70s movie. Am I right?
You're right so far.
I'm right. Okay, it's 70s. I think this movie. Wow. I think it's mid to late 70s, I believe. You're thinking of a movie that in the title, the proper title. Just the title. It's mostly known by. Has 2 words. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Hold on to that movie in your mind. Think about it. Okay. I think you're thinking of. I think I've got it.
Yes.
Is it Star Wars?
Yes, it is.
That's what you're thinking. But wait, you're not just thinking of a movie. You're thinking of a character in that movie, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
You're thinking of a character?
Yes.
Now look at the time.
Oh.
What do you see? The time about who is that? Is that Darth Vader? Is that the character you were thinking of?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Darth Vader in the Sands of Time. There you go.
Paul Q, everyone.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Nice. That is great.
That's some fun stuff.
That is really fun. That must be a never-ending delight to see the look on the face of like gobsmacked. That was very
That was
good.
very
Thank
cool.
you.
Great
Thank
fun.
you.
So great.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it.
That
Thank
is so cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I think the only thing that could possibly top this full meal of a conversation and time with Paul Ciupek would be, if it's not too much, could we get a little tunage, fellas?
Music, a little Paul and Jeremy duo
Paul
action.
and Jeremy.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Sweet dreams are made of this. When I disagree, travel work and symphony seas. Everybody looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? We travel the world and sail the seas. Everybody looking for something. Hold your head up. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and sail the seas. Everybody looking something. Hold your head up and keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up. Sweet dreams.
All right. So good. There's no topping that. Listen,
There's only one thing to say after that. Thank you, Paul, for joining us. Thank you, Jeremy, for having awesome friends. Ladies and Germans, that is our show. We'll see you next time.
You hear the laugh now?
Do you hear it? Babies.
Oh man!
Sorry,
what an epic
nonchalantly, all I was trying to say is how many songs do you think they were